disparities and differences will be fixed forever. Seventh, do people reproduce in heaven, or is the number of its inhabitants anchored forever? If reproduction is prohibited, won't those who wanted children feel that they were in something other than heaven? Or is the desire to have children in heaven abolished forever? If the number is allowed to increase, how does this occur? Is the normal procreative act allowed? That's difficult to imagine. And if people are created in heaven, how could God be just, since those who are created would have been allowed to bypass the earthly test that everyone must surmount in order to attain heaven? They never accepted Jesus and or performed good deeds. In effect, it's as if they sneaked in. And finally, how will people be recognized in heaven? If everyone has the appearance they died with on earth, won't many be saddled with features they wish to improve or eliminate? Or is the appearance of everyone altered as they desire, and you're simply told in some manner who's who? Or is the appearance of everyone completely abolished? One can only guess how you would recognize someone who has no distinguishing features or characteristics whatever. According to the fundamentalist John R. Rice, who I quoted earlier, according to him, there will be no alteration of appearances in heaven whatever. So how you appear is fixed for all eternity. On page 16 in his book entitled, Dr. Rice, Here's My Question, Rice says, quote, "In heaven, not only shall we know those we know on earth, but we shall know others also. No one will need to introduce me to Paul, or to David, or to Barnabas, or to the martyr Stephen, or to the sweet Mary," unquote. If no introductions are required, then no major alteration of features will occur. Imagine the pain this will bring to people who are severely misshapen or disfigured in some manner. These are only a few of the many questions that must be addressed by those who take heaven seriously and seek to provide a rationale for its existence. Questions of this nature are of tremendous importance because millions of people are literally staking their lives on heaven's existence. Everything they do and say is done with an eye on the final arena, that expected reward. Because of the significance attached to heaven by them, they should realize that problems as strong as any in the Bible accompany this whole concept. More of these problems will be discussed later, that is, in a later program. On page 184 in the book entitled 508 Answers to Bible Questions, apologist M.R. DeHaan admits that not much is known about heaven by saying, quote, "There is not much in the Bible concerning conditions in heaven, and we do not know exactly just what all of us will be like when we get there," unquote. Exactly? Is he serious? We don't even know roughly. Later, DeHaan states, quote, "The Bible does not have much to say concerning the condition of babies in heaven," unquote, when in reality, the Bible doesn't have much to say about the condition or appearance of anyone in heaven, let alone babies. Another massive injustice inherent in Christianity, that is, in Christianity in general, and the Bible in particular, arises from that infamous verse, John 14:6, which says, quote, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me," as well as verses Well, for instance, John 3:18, John 3:36, and 1 John 5:12. They all say the same. In other words, acceptance of Jesus as one's Savior is an absolute requirement for salvation. But what do you do about people who lived in the Western Hemisphere before missionaries arrived? As we asked in earlier programs, what about the billions of beings that die as fetuses, infants, mental deficients, and so forth? For them to accept Jesus would be impossible. So they are condemned to hell because of conditions over which they had absolutely no control. Deuteronomy 32:4 says God is just, but where's the justice? This problem has haunted Christian apologists since time immemorial. And on page 185 in his book, apologist DeHaan seeks to provide a partial solution by saying, quote, all children who die before the age of responsibility go to heaven, and none of them are lost, unquote. The obvious problem with this explanation lies in the fact that there's nothing in the Bible about an age of accountability or an age of responsibility. Where he's getting this nonsense is anyone's guess. Of course, it would be nice from the apologetic viewpoint if such a concept was in the Bible, but it isn't. The Bible doesn't allow for exceptions. It does not say that all people must accept Jesus. However, children, infants, fetuses, and all others incapable of doing so are granted an exemption. It doesn't say that. It says no man, not many men, not most men, not a few men, but no man cometh unto the Father but by me.